Hastings. I'm Tom Wright. Welcome to this in studio where we are meeting the candidates running for at-large city council. And with me now is incumbent candidates, Miss Lori Braucks. Lori, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you for having me.
Yes, great to have you. So we're here to talk about your decision to run for re-election and also get to introduce you to some that may be not familiar with you and get to know your background, experience, what you bring to the table, and also get your thoughts on Hastings in general and how things are going and what you see for the future.
Okay.
Sound good to you?
Sounds great.
All right. Before we get to the decision, let's talk about the last 3.5 years for you, this first term as an at-large city council member. How's it gone?
It's been a learning experience, and it's been crazy in some aspects. Just my personal life has changed dramatically. I went into the last election cycle with no children and just a dog and a husband and a half-empty house, and now I have 2 wonderful children that we've gone through the process of fostering and adopting into our family, and also started this additional job. I've also changed in my other career, made a job change there. So it's been a lot of change. It's been really good. It's been a learning experience, and I feel like I have a lot more knowledge and understanding, and I've met a lot of people who are really great, who know a lot about Hastings and know about the history of the community that they've shared with me and what they're doing for the community, and I think it's been really wonderful, and sometimes have been stressful, but I think that just comes with being a public servant.
Yeah. Well, tell me about any surprises. Is there anything that's really surprised you about the position?
I have been pleasantly surprised that I've been introduced to a group of people that I didn't previously know, because I'm meeting with a lot of community leaders, because we're always trying to do things in collaboration and partnership with other people. So I didn't necessarily know who was at the United Way. I didn't necessarily know people who ran the Y. I've had the opportunity to get to meet and talk to a lot of different people who I hadn't crossed paths with before. So I think I get to see a lot of the great side of Hastings, and then also, we spend a lot of time focusing on the problems and how to solve the problems. But I think overall, just the amount of effort that goes into making Hastings a better community, and all the people that are doing things to make that happen, is really not concentrated at the government level. There's just a lot of different people doing a lot of really important work, and I think that it's not surprising to me, but I guess I didn't realize the extent of it when I took office. So it's been great. It's been great to see.
For those not familiar, please share your story. Where'd you grow up and what you do and your education, all that kind of stuff.
Sure. I am a 1997 graduate of Hastings High School. I am married to Tommy Braucks, who is a native Hastings person. And we live in Hastings with our 2 kids and dog. And I am a dog person, which I think is an important thing for people to know.
What is the name of that dog?
Teddy.
That's important too.
Yes.
Yeah.
My background is really originally I went to the UW of Eau Claire for journalism and political science. I worked at various newspapers in this area and within the Rivertown Media Group before I got out of college and decided to go to law school. And then I graduated from William Mitchell College of Law. Law has always been an interest of mine, and so I decided to pursue that in a graduate school way. And then when I got out, I decided I was going to pursue a career in law, but I didn't want to traditionally practice, so I decided to go into e-discovery technology, which is basically a fusion of IT and legal knowledge. So I basically work for Thomson Reuters as an e-discovery project manager, which means that we have some experience with computer forensics and helping lawyers collect evidence for their cases. And usually when we're working with people, it's on a pretty massive scale, because everything used to be kept in pieces of paper. For a case, you would go into somebody's office and collect folders out of their drawer, and that was what you used when you were providing evidence in a case. Well, now all of that is stored electronically, and so it's a massive amount of information. As we know, it's growing all the time, so we have to help our clients find ways to collect and parse through that information in a way that makes sense for their case. So that's what I do during the day. and have been doing for about 12 years. And a couple years ago, I made a switch from driving all the way to Eden Prairie to working at Thomson Reuters in Eagan, which has been a wonderful change for my family and for my commute and for saving gas and energy and all kinds of things. So it's been a really wonderful change.
Well, sounds like it. Sounds like it. Let's talk about your decision to run for re-election. Was this an easy decision, tough decision? Tell us the story. How did it go?
It was a hard decision for me, not because I don't like what I'm doing, but because I struggle with, as a mom, am I giving everything to my kids that am I giving them all the effort and time that I could be giving to them at this crucial point in their lives? And I think that is something I had to wrestle with that I didn't have previously to decide. And I talked to a lot of people who had either done this job before or similar positions, have been public servants, and really the advice that I heard is, well, you have to make the decision for yourself, and also there is some value in your children seeing you serve the community because it plants a seed in them to think about how they may serve their community in the future. So even though it is a sacrifice, and you do sacrifice some time and some dinners and with your family, there's some value in basically demonstrating leadership to them, what it means to be a community, a person who's involved in the community and doing work for the community and doing that in a sort of a sacrificial way. So that convinced me, and also my husband is very supportive of me in this role, and he's picked up a lot of the household work of cooking and cleaning, and he basically wouldn't really entertain the option of me not running for office again. So together we made this decision, and it was an easy decision to make, but at the same time I do really love what I'm doing, and I think I'm decent at it, and if the voters feel that someone else is better, then that's the way it is. So I feel comfortable either way. I would love to win, and I would love to serve for another 4 years, but the other side is, if I didn't win, what is it? I get extra time with my kids, and I get to maybe coach a soccer team or serve the community in a different way. So it's really a win-win for me either way, and that's really truly, I'm not just saying that, that's how I feel about it.
Let's get your general thoughts on how things are going in Hastings. Let's start on the positive side. What do you think is going really well for Hastings right now in local government?
I've really enjoyed being a part of the riverfront renovation, all the work that's gone into Levy Park, the pavilion, just seeing that come to fruition. And I was at the end of that process. I kind of came in towards the end, so a lot of the work had been done, a lot of the plans were drawn up, but did handle a fair amount of the approvals for different expenditures and talked about how we were going to finish out that program. But all the things that have happened downtown that other people have done, the businesses that have taken spaces downtown, the finishing up the Hudson project and transferring the ownership to them, all the different things that have happened, I kind of feel like the momentum has been building, and that's extremely positive. I think downtown is looking really good, and I'm seeing people down there that aren't from Hastings, and we have friends from Cottage Grove and Woodbury that come down to Hastings to go to the Aquatic Center, and they also come down to go to Spiral Brewery, and they say, when we want to go out to eat for a night out, like, there's nowhere in Cottage Grove to go. Like, we can go to Hastings, and we have a whole bunch of places to choose from. So when I hear that, that makes me excited, because it means people are noticing Hastings, and that the investment that we made in the riverfront is making a difference. And now it's not only us, there's lots of other people that have made their investments, including the Rotary and all the small business owners who have taken a risk and taken on space in downtown. So I recognize that the city was a catalyst, but there's a lot of other people who have done things that have made it successful as well. So I think it's been really positive. And I'm really excited about what's going to happen in the future as we focus more on kind of getting the message out about Hastings. Finishing the trail over to Prescott is awesome, and I know that our trail system has improved. We could improve, keeping care of a lot of the things that we have. We do have an extensive amount of green space and extensive amount of trails that we need to track and maintain, because we're offering that to the rest of the Twin Cities. So, but I think those things are going well. I see a lot of partnership between the business community and the city. I think that's one thing that can always get better. there's never enough collaboration and partnership and feedback and communication. But I think it's going in the right direction.
Great. And on the flip side, where do you feel the city could improve the most? What do you think the city should be focused on improving?
I think that one crucial thing I'm thinking about is that Hastings feels like it's at a very crucial moment in our history. And I think that it matters who we choose as our next mayor, and I think it matters that we have a city council that can work together and basically come down to a strategic vision for 2 or 3 things that really need to happen. And I feel like for the last 2 years, we've spent a lot of time going down a lot of different paths, and we have a lot of ideas and a lot of really good ideas about what it is that Hastings needs. But I think that we need to focus our efforts as the city council on a couple of things. Now, what those couple of things could be, there's so many things that are big that we could tackle. Economic development is thrown out around a lot, but what does it actually mean for Hastings? Does that mean pursuing big box stores and trying to get those retailers to Hastings and courting them? Does it mean trying to support the small businesses that are already here, already exist, and could just use a little extra help? I mean, just within the category of economic development, you could say we could work on housing, we could work on transportation, and all those things are things that we could work on. So we have some obstacles to overcome with our distance from the Twin Cities and our perception that we're far away. But I think the more times that people come here, especially to events like the Rotary Pavilion concert or a program in the park, they're getting to see a little bit about what Hastings is about, and it's more likely that they're going to come back here. So I think we just have to build on some of that curiosity and get the message out. So a lot of it is communication. I think also, though, we need to decide how we're going to handle transportation, how we're going to handle housing. We don't have enough houses being built, and we need housing stock in a variety of price points. So I think we need more, and I know there's at least we have a couple apartment complexes that are slated to go up soon, and we have some proposals out that we're looking at and the Planning Commission is reviewing. So I'm excited to see that there's a little more housing being built and developers looking at plans, but I think we even need a little more emphasis on housing. And that historically hasn't been something that the City Council has been involved in, so I think it would be a bold move to get involved in that. But we're talking about what that looks like and what the options might be for both housing and transportation. I think those are probably going to be the biggest issues that we have to focus on in the next 4 years.
Oh. We're starting to run out of time here, but I want to give you a chance to give your best pitch for those voters watching right now. Why should they vote for you?
I think that the experience of our city council is undersold, and that we have people who have, we have a lot of varying tenures right now on the city council of how long people have been there. With the mayor, Paul Hicks, basically retiring from the city council with his years of service and his work, he has provided a lot of stability, a lot of consistency, a lot of diplomacy and procedure to the city council. And I think that for that he'll be very missed. And I think that what that means for Hastings is that we do need city council members who have experience, who have knowledge, who have partnership with people in the community, to be there to kind of support the transition to a new mayor. And that new mayor is going to bring a new vision, a new strategy for what they see the future of Hastings being. And we need people that are flexible, open-minded. And I think that I have been that. And I am strong opinionated, and I believe that I'm a strong leader, but I also believe that communication and collaboration are important. And I just would ask people to consider voting for me because I have some experience. I don't feel like I'm a career politician. I know everybody says, I'm not a politician. Well, when you run for office, you become a politician. So I'm not going to say I'm not a politician because it's a little bit inherent in the job that I'm already doing. But I'm also a neighbor, and I'm also a friend, and I go to church with I go to church with people in Hastings, and I know what it means to serve the community, and I try to do that with my whole heart. And if that's what's important, then I hope people will vote for me. If not, that's okay too.
Oh. Well, there you go. Lori, for anybody that is interested in following you, getting more information, or supporting your campaign, Do you have a website or something you can lead them to?
I do, yes. You can always email or call me. I have a website, votebraucks.com, and you can always call me at 651-252-4270.
Great. Well, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and good luck on your campaign.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. We're with Lori Braucks, at-large council member, incumbent candidate running for re-election this year. Stay tuned. We also have interviews with the other candidates, also incumbent Mark Vaughn, and as well as newcomer Tom Cherney. So you can look for those as well. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.